To make our spear phishing email even more convincing than just using a real notification sent from Facebook or from your bank or your organization, you're going to need to understand a little bit more about IP addresses. To see what I mean, let's open up our Windows VM again, and I'm going to go to Google Chrome, and I'm also going to open my command prompt. Remember, the command prompt is just CMD. So I'm going to need both Google Chrome and the command prompt open for this. If I go to a familiar website like google.com, if I type in google.com into my browser, that domain name from our domain name system or DNS system that runs most of the internet, that domain name system resolves that name google.com to a web address, and that web address takes us to this website. And we've got a different doodle for today. The same thing for Facebook.com. Takes me to the Facebook web page. So I type in just a name, and it takes me to a website, which is actually a web server running at a specific IP address. But how can we find out the IP address of that server? Well, let's come back to our command prompt window, and let's use the ping command. Ping www.google.com. You notice it gives me an address for Google. There are lots of addresses for Google out on the internet because they have tons of redundant servers. But 74.125.21.99 is one address. If I highlight that using my mouse, and I have to highlight it exactly, in Windows 10 I just have to click and then right-click to copy it. Or on other versions of Windows you can right-click and mark and then highlight it. But Windows 10 will let us do this. If I ping that address and just right-click to paste, 74.125.21.99, notice it responds as well. That means I have connectivity out to Google. If you don't have network connectivity on your Windows 10 box, maybe try turning off and turning on the network interface from the main window. I'll show that one more time really fast. Click down here. Disconnect your network adapter, then reconnect it, then retry to connect if you're having trouble. And make sure you are on that public NAT address. Make sure you're on that public NAT address, 10.0.9.4. something. If I do an IP config, I can see I'm on the 10.0.9.5 address right now, so I'm on that 10.0.9 public network. So let's see that ping command again. Ping www.google.com, and it gave me some address. 74.125 just happens to be what we're using here. So if I take this 74.125.21.99 or whatever address you get for Google and switch back to Chrome, many people don't know that we can do this. We can paste that address right here and hit enter, and it takes us to Google as well. We can do the same thing for Facebook or any other website. But here's another step. I'm going to show you two more ways to change this URL so that it's not immediately apparent that we're running something from our Kali Linux computer. Let's say that I were to type, let's try this, Facebook or www.facebook.com at google.com. You've probably never seen this before, but facebook.com at google.com. This at symbol is a holdover from the days when we used to do FTP or file transfer protocol and other user logins through a browser. So this will take everything that appears before this, as long as there are no slashes or other illegal characters. Dots are okay. That will take everything before this and use it as a username to try to pass to this website, the site after this. So I would expect, by looking at this just really quickly, it starts with www.facebook.com. If you don't notice the rest, you would expect this to take you to Facebook. But if you put http:// before this address, notice that it grays out the first half because it tries to see that as a username. At google.com, watch what's going to happen. It's going to load Google, not Facebook. Well, the same is true here. If I go to Facebook, and if I say http:// www.facebook.com You have to type this exactly, at, and use that IP address for Google, paste, 74.125.21.99. Now this looks like it really is a facebook.com website, right? http://www.facebook.com at, and then some numbers. Most people don't realize that that will take you to wherever this address goes. And that took us to Google. Well, it could just as easily take us to our 10.0.9.4 address. But let's get even trickier. We can convert this number to a different type of number, to an integer, to one single number, instead of the 4 numbers separated by dots that we normally see as an IP address. We can change this so that it is one single long integer, one single number. Well, let's see how that works. So first of all, make sure that you get to Google from that address. Good. We're going to look for an IP address to integer converter. IP address to integer converter. And you can pick any of the results that come up on Google. You can do this by hand yourself as well. I'll show you how. But I just happened to pick ipaddressguide.com/IP. And I'm going to enter that Google address that I got, 74.125.21.99, and click Convert. And it tells me that that IP address, 74.125.21.99, is equal to this integer. Well, this number is just this number, 74, times 256, plus this number, 125. Multiply that whole number by 256, then add 21. Multiply that new result by 256, then add 99. You can try it on your calculator, you'll get the same result. We'll copy this address, or this number, and now here's the magic. Type in http:// and that number, 124.971.1459 in this case, was what 74.125.21.99 converted to as an integer just by doing that math, and hit enter. Notice it converted it really quickly to a 4 component dotted IP address and then took us to www.google. We're going to make use of that in our spear phishing email. We'll see how to change our URL so that it looks exactly like it's taking us to www.facebook.com. In fact, let's test it here really fast. www.facebook.com at, and that integer. Paste. Just remember to hit http:// before it. And this will not take us to facebook.com. It will take us to google.com. We're going to see how to redirect that to our Kali Linux IP address in the next lesson.